Where to start? Just a little bit more on the vaccine. Obviously, I think Dr. Daly did a great job. There's a lot of information there that we presented. And as she explained, just to back up a little bit, in terms of where we are with distribution of the vaccine, I know there's been stories that we're behind, we're ahead. You just got to be careful of that snapshot in time. I think that's really important. Obviously, the most recent information on the CDC website identifying New Hampshire as being one of the most proactive in terms of getting the vaccine out is great news, and we want to keep that up. But it's all variable depending on the amount of vaccine you're getting on a single day, and most importantly, the timing of the reporting back to the CDC. Sometimes if there's a day or two delay in there, it can just cause a little bit of confusion. So a little bit more insight in terms of how we're determining the following groups as we go on from 1A and determining the groups of 1B, 2A, 2B, and then 3A and 3B. Our philosophy is actually very simple, very straightforward. We want to make sure we're very transparent about that. Those at highest risk get the vaccine first. It's really that simple. I know there's been discussion about the idea to identify individual work groups or business groups, essential workers that are more essential than others and whatnot. They're really the only two groups that we've identified and we are segregating out of the population based on their work are healthcare providers for obvious reasons, those essentially that are taking care of those at the highest risk, and education staff, teachers, doing our best to make sure that schools can remain viable, can remain open for our students going forward, because that's such an important part of our population health. But again, in doing so and effectively lining everybody across the state up, if you would think of it that way, in terms of the highest risk on down and making sure that we're addressing those issues first. It's not that some of the workers and some of the more what you could technically classify as the more essential fields of work. It's not that we don't want to prioritize them. It's not that we don't care to vaccinate them. It's not those individuals we worry about as much. It's the parents of those individuals or the child of that individual that may have a health condition, something of that nature. And it's those folks that we want to make sure get the vaccine first, really addressing the highest risk at its core, if you will. Moving on to the hospitalization, and again, all that information on vaccines will be available on our website. That chart is going to be made available. I don't think it's up there just yet. Maybe by today or early tomorrow morning, we'll make sure at least the chart is up so people can start digesting a little bit and understand there could be some overlap as well. What we also tried to do finally on vaccines is make sure that each of these groups, 1B, 2A, 2B, were manageable in size. You don't want to have one group be so large that it takes 4 or 5 months to get through the vaccination of that group. That would create a lot of questions, I think, in terms of when folks could realistically expect to get their vaccine. And getting expectations right for the population, I think, is very important. We just want folks to be able to have a general sense of when their time will come. And there could be a lot of overlap from those groups as well. You could have someone that qualifies in Group 1B and 2A, and it's up to them as to when they want to become vaccinated. Again, the vaccine is not going to be mandated for anyone, but as it becomes available. And then the last piece here is knowing that when we talk about vulnerable populations and we talk about the conditions, the comorbidity situations, cancer or otherwise, things of that nature that may make someone more vulnerable and therefore further up in the line in that Group 1B of the vaccination, we're always also going to provide flexibility to the doctors and the medical professions providers. If there are those extraneous circumstances, maybe if someone has a condition that might not be listed exactly on our list, a medical provider is always going to be granted the flexibility to make that call, to make that decision, to make sure that in those other circumstances that we might not have put directly onto paper, that those folks can be prioritized as well. So we always want to defer to the medical professionals that way.